new face of professional wrestling.
Never realized how quiet the intro thing was before. I don't listen to our things that often, our own stuff, because you hate it.
I do hate it.
I've had more notes this week than I've had the past 3.
Woo-hoo.
That's weird. No, it's not a woo, because this is Russo's fault. Russo gumming up the works, making things slow down, and have way too much fucking we also have gone from having 8 to 10 matches. We had 6, sort of. You know? And 3 of them involved America's Most Wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Feast or Fired podcast, where we go back and review old TNA shows from 20 years ago. I am here with my wife.
Hello.
And I am Brian. And we are about to delve into the craziness that is Vince Russo's first real week of being a menace, I guess. At least a known menace. We do actually start off with the video package covering what happened at the end of the last show. And then after that, we get a after sign-off segment where we just see Russo and Truth brawl with each other. And they're broken up by Big Ron and Heavy D.
Mm-hmm. Jarrett
just grabs his belt and walks off. I don't know how to feel about that. You know what I mean? I don't.
Well, he kept his belt, so, he got what he wanted.
I understand. He's just like, man, Jarrett in this situation, he is between kind of a rock and a hard place, sort of, because he's in a situation where he's like, I mean, I don't want to be on Russo's side, because that's from what we're getting right now. I don't want to be on Russo's side, but this guy's also wanting my belt. So I don't necessarily want to protect him. And also, we established basically that they're not friends so much. And I would say that after tonight, we definitely would know for sure they're not friends. They're barely on the same page. Anyways, following this, actual live, going back to live, or whatever you want to call this, Roddy Piper comes to the ring. While I don't expect to see Piper again after this. I think this really was just a book plug, but they used it as effectively as they could, I think, for what's going on right now. Apparently he wants to get a word on Russo. Says that Russo has no talent and it's just a wolf in sheep's clothing. And that Russo will kill the dreams of the kids in the back by, going down his path of sports entertainment. He even blames Russo or someone like him coming up with the idea that got Owen Hart killed.
Which we found out that Kilt Dude, whose name I don't remember at the moment, sorry, is actually related to Owen Hart. They're distant
Roddy Piper. Yeah, I didn't actually know they were cousins. Which something you learn something every day, even if you've been watching this for years.
Yeah, I learned 2 new things at that point, because I also looked up. It was kind of linked to it about Sunglasses being friends with Owen Hart. That was cool. Interesting facts that I found out.
Interesting facts, indeed. All right. Anyways, I noticed as soon as Russo got here, so did a lot more talking. Russo finally shows up in the ring. He's just sitting in the corner, kind of looking smug. This next part, I didn't really get that well, considering what happened later in the night. But I guess at the time, maybe they were still under the impression, hey, we're still loyal. But Ron and Don are back out there, and they're between Piper and Russo, and, basically Piper's just picking on Russo, taunting him, not giving him a chance to speak. And, Ron and Don are holding Russo back, not letting him get a word in. And they eventually just push him out of the ring. Push him. and that was kind of it. I don't know. Match 1, though. We finally get some action. The SATs versus Divine Storm. Apparently, whoever wins this will get a tag title match. I say that Storm and Quiet Storm and Jose Maximo do their normal stalemate opening for a good minute, and then we get the same thing with Chris Divine and Joel doing it as well. Storm does end up using the move he used in the previous week that I said I hated, but he actually guided his opponent down. It's like an electric chair thing, and then he drops the opponent off his shoulders forward so that they flip over and come down on their shoulders as he sits down. But since he did it this time, he did it with his hand firmly on the back of their head, so he could guide them down. So it looked much better than last week. Last week it just looked like he just let his opponent fall and hoped that they didn't spike themselves. Though as I watched this match, though, I'd say I felt this match felt more like dance than combat. I don't know. I didn't really feel like there was. It felt fake.
I don't know.
This match felt like as fake as you could get with these guys and their styles.
That's what I said, isn't it?
I don't know.
I know I said something like, I know this is fake wrestling most of the time, but this one made me feel like
it's coordinated and scripted.
Yeah, and I understand that. But this one, it felt so fake, and I was like, okay. Because, there were so many times where someone would, pause in the middle of a move, or the other person would, help with the move, and it's like, dude, if this was, a real thing, you'd be like, no.
Almost all moves are a combination work between both the guy taking the move and the guy delivering it.
Yes, but
in this case,
look like it.
In this case, yeah, everything felt way overly
choreographed.
Choreographed and fake, to the point where, as I said, it looked more like dancing than combat. The win does come, though, when Trinity interferes with the SATs going for the Spanish Fly, and this lets Divine Storm get a pin. So Divine Storm get a title shot. It's fine. But yeah, this match, if you're watching, okay. The acrobatic feats of these guys that are X Division guys, I understand all these guys are actually guys trained by Mike Whipwreck, which is fine. They all have a similar style, and that's fine. But when you watch it and you can't let yourself into the fake reality that they're trying to build, because it looks way too unreal. It's like the uncanny valley of wrestling moves. I couldn't be excited for this match. All these guys can do good things, can do great in the ring, but I could not be excited for this match because it just felt so fake, And that's just unfortunate. I'm absolutely positive all four of these guys together can do a much better match that looks a lot more real. And I don't know if it's just because, again, it's the taping thing and they were all tired and that's just how it looked because of that.
Yeah.
Or they were just going, or maybe because they know each other so well, it felt more like going through the motions, and because of that, they weren't really putting as much effort into selling or whatever. I don't know. I don't think I can pinpoint my finger on it unless I watch the match 50 times, and I'm not doing that. I've done some stuff. I've never been trained, but I've done some stuff. So I know what it takes to do these moves, or some of these moves, but I'm not going to I can't pinpoint the exact problem in this particular match. That it didn't work. Moving.
Yeah,
Unless you have something else to add, sweetheart, we're going to move on.
No, I don't have any.
All right. Chris Harris comes out for a match, but before his opponent can come out, Russo takes the mic to interrupt. He suggests that Piper was just using Owen's name to sell his book. He also says that the NWA doesn't care about his fans. Instead, the old-timers are trying to hold on to their relevancy. This is all met with Russo sucks chants, and Jeremy Borash even flipping Russo the middle finger. he asks, he basically asks the crowd, I know what you want. You guys want blah 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 blah, and you want violence, you want blood, you want sex, want sex and all that. So I guess this is just a way for him to set up a faction that's going to be called Sports Entertainment Extreme. So sex for short.
I was like, acronym of sex.
Yeah, because they spell extreme with an X at the start.
Which is stupid, but
No, it's a very common. When the very short-lived promotion called Wrestling Society X, the X stood for extreme. That's the one of the few times it's ever been actually started with an E was ECW, because that was Extreme Championship Wrestling. I guess they could have called themselves XCW, but ECW sounded better. He addresses the Weeks of Athena signs and calls her into the ring. I don't know who she is. Even now, I'm assuming she was just someone that was in WCW that had a little bit of prominence there.
She was pretty, though. I thought so.
Okay. He tries to get her to take off her top, and then he starts insulting her when she won't, up to the point where she slaps him. I just lost my I didn't get my Google Docs because my Firefox crashed.
No.
Oh, it's fine. It comes right back up when I restart Firefox.
Who's fighting? It's Gabby and Cass.
I don't know.
They're right behind you.
It's fine.
No, it's Gabby. Move your leg. Gabby and Lucy.
Okay.
I knew Gabby was one of the.
I want to get back to the thing. We are still recording.
Well, you guys get to hear our cat's names.
Anyways, he insults her, she slaps him, and then he starts pushing her around. This whole segment is starting to get extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have any desire to watch a guy bully a woman.
You bully me all the time.
I don't.
Yes. So mean to me.
He is the violent one.
I have never hit you that you can prove.
Fine. Not my fault. I like it. Anyway, where the
oh my God.
I asked where were the people who removed him earlier. Don and Ron Harris. The Harris twins do eventually break it up after she attacks him. I don't know who was holding who. I think it was Don holding her. He looked really excited to be doing so. And then Russo, after this, addresses the Harris twins directly, basically saying, aren't you guys fed up with this shit too? And Ron takes the mic and he says he's been holding up the company since day one, and he's sick of the people running it. Because, he feels like he hasn't gotten a fair shake or anything like that.
I can honestly say I don't think I saw him even in the first week.
That doesn't mean he wasn't there. It just means he might not have performed.
True.
Don was there the first week. I know that for sure because he was security. He's been security the entire time up until like a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. He got fired.
So I assume now the Harris twins are members of Sports Entertainment Extreme. I will say the full thing every time.
Because you don't want to say sex?
No, because I want everyone to know what it stands for. And then they beat up Athena. The twins beat up Athena. And I said, again, this is really fucking uncomfortable.
Not comfortable watching, And you know what? It would be one thing if she was like a really, really buff girl.
Like China or Asia?
Yeah. I don't know who Asia is, but yeah.
Asia was WCW's attempt to make a China.
Oh.
They got like a female bodybuilder.
I mean, China is in Asia, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Moving on with that statement.
I think the idea was we're one-upping you by making it the whole continent.
Okay. But it would be one thing if like she was a huge bodybuilder, like muscles bigger than their heads. But no, she wasn't.
I don't even know if she's a wrestler.
Yeah, she's a petite little cute girl. Okay, not girl, woman. But she was like, I think she was shorter than me, and I'm 5'5.5".
Yeah.
Which is average. I realize that.
Let's Less about Athena right now, the better. Bob Armstrong bitches out the Harris twins in the back and sets up a match against NWA's finest to teach them a lesson. We don't know who that is at the moment, though. We figure that out. Get into it when we get there.
You'll know when we know.
AMW is at the announce desk, upset with all the bullshit, and TNA is just like, yeah, I understand that is bullshit. I'm gonna do what I can to try to help with it, but right now let's have the match. So, match number 2 of the night. Chris Harris versus Brian Lee. The winner gets put into a 3-way bull rope match with James Mitchell.
Did not know what a bull rope match was. But now I do. And
Yes.
life is better.
They said they're already brawling outside the ring before the match, or as the match starts. I also said, I don't know what's going on. Both guys are overselling. And the reason I said that is because, like, Brian Lee, like, who actually has a new nickname this week, is now the Bulldozer Brian Lee. Instead of Primetime.
He is still champion.
Like, he would punch Harris, and Harris would do like would jump up and flip backwards over the guardrail, and then after that, Harris went and like slammed Lee's face on on the announce table, and Lee didn't just like bounce up; he bounced up, then leaped and like flipped over the table from just like his head being hit on it. I said, I don't know what's going on. Both these guys are overselling. It's weird. Like, are we just having a night where everything just comes off as fake?
Well, yeah.
Unfortunately, this only lasted the first like minute or so of the match. But I did also say that Russo's interruption zapped all my enthusiasm for the show. And also part of that was because we were over 40 minutes in at this point before this match number 2 had started. And at the past, couple months, at this point in the show, we've had at least 3 matches and on almost every show.
Yeah.
And now we've had 1 and a whole bunch of bullshit.
The only time I can think of that we didn't have another match by like almost 40 minutes in is the first episode. And that's because they were setting shit up.
Mm-hmm. So obviously the heels cheat and try to distract the ref. There's a near fall when Harris tries to do the catatonic and belladonna, and Lee gets a big boot, but he doesn't win. Right after this, though, Harris hits a spear for the 3, and Harris is in the bull rope match. It was the ending was really sudden and kind of like there are finishes that are like overbooked. This one was underbooked.
I mean, can you really blame for that though?
I guess. And we immediately switched to match number 3, which is James Storm versus Slash, which is the same stipulation. Whoever wins is put into the bull rope match with James Mitchell. So, we start in the ring this time. Storm is a house of fire and starts getting in the first few big moves. After Slash took over, though, I noted that I swear Slash's moves make it seem like he's a comedy character that somehow got put into a dark cult gimmick, and I don't understand how that worked. Because he does that thing where he puts him up like he's doing like the crucifix, but he just holds him on his shoulders and he spins and then drops him. And you know what? One silly move like that is fine. But then he does another thing where like he'll have his opponent in the corner and he'll jump up, grab the top ropes, and do it like a tap dance on their chest. And I'm just like, dude, are you supposed to be intimidating or are you supposed to be funny?
Intimidation funny.
Intimidatingly funny?
Yep.
Okay.
He intimidates you to laugh.
I said Storm only really loses momentum majorly because Lee gets involved, inflicting some damage on him on the outside. Storm is extremely impressive in this match. We have a series where he skins the cat, hits a head scissor on Slash, and then gets a near fall after a Russian leg sweep. All of them were beautiful. It was a great combination of moves put together. It just goes to show how talented James Storm actually is. Like, yes, Chris Harris is, at this point in his career, really good too. Both these guys are. At this point in time, I'd look at both of these guys as future big stars. Like, I could build the company around these two, for sure, at this moment. But, We'll see how things go. Build on a distraction leads to Slash using a powder to blind Storm, but Storm still kicks out. Slash tries to pull the tights after a reversal, and Storm kicks out again. Belladonna gets Slash a chair. Storm does his out of the corner move. I don't remember what it's called. Reverse. It's basically a reverse swinging bulldog. But he does that with Slash onto the chair. But that's also just another near fall. This ending's like the exact opposite of the other one. This one's overbooked. Harris stops Lee from interfering, and Slash nails Storm with the belt, but another near fall. And then a distraction from Mitchell lets Storm and Harris hit the death sentence and give Storm the victory. So the babyface is cheated to win, but it was after so much bullshit from the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that point, it's like, this is just revenge, so it's understandable and not as much of a heelish thing. That's fine. So now it's AMW versus James Mitchell in the bull rope match. Anything to add?
No.
Okay.
Nothing yet. Sorry.
I like to try to ask you periodically so that it doesn't seem like I'm just running through this without you.
He does. He's so mean. Runs through.
Armstrong with Jarrett. He asks him to give him his best and to team up with Ron Killings. You know what? I missed the part where Goldilocks is in the back. And he said he wanted to get his hands on Russo and to get his belt back, and Armstrong said he needed to team up with Jarrett to go against the Harris twins. Okay, that was before the James Storm match. I apologize, I missed that. But now we're back with Jarrett, and R-Truth is in there, and R-Truth, the Truth. And didn't you say Truth looked like he was like it looked like a scolded dog or something?
He did.
All right.
He looked like he was a little kid in trouble, and I'm like,
he was supposed to be portraying like somber and pissed.
No, he looked like a little kid who was in trouble.
Okay. Killings tells him not to screw this up. Tells Jarrett not to screw this up, and then Jarrett tells Ron just to be ready for the fight of his life. So basically, they've agreed to do this match, and Jarrett wants them, and they both want to make sure both of them are ready to fight and fight hard. That's the gist of it, and I'm fine with that. Match number 4, easily the best match of the night by a long shot. It is a double elimination match for an X Division title shot, 4-man double elimination, featuring Easy Money, Amazing Red, Kid Cash, and AJ Styles. It's the same type of match that the first X Division champion was determined by. Back on the second episode. Again, this is one of those ones that it's hard for me to take comprehensive notes on, so I just wrote what I could. Red coming in the ring, and Styles jumps on him. Red coming to the ring, because Red is the third to last entrant, and Styles jumps him from behind. And then he hits the Styles Clash on the stage. And I said, I guess the idea is to take Red out before the match. And which actually was true, because they substituted Joel Maximo for the Amazing Red in this match at this point. So, technically I lied earlier. It's not Amazing Red, it's Joel Maximo.
You didn't lie on purpose. All right, it's not like you lied.
Well, okay, I told you what the intended match was. The actual match ended up with one different competitor.
Sorry.
We get Cash and Joel to start this. I find it weird that he's going first, and El Rey had a match tonight, but whatever. The odds are against him because, he's tired. And then Styles at this point is sitting outside the ring looking very proud of himself. Cash goes to have some words with Styles, who smacks him and shoves both men back into the ring. They were at the outside at the time. There's a short exchange, and a German bridge gives Cash his first loss. So good for Joel, even tired. He's fighting. He got a pin on Kid Cash. Good for him. Styles jumps in the ring. Now him and Joel. Joel fights out of the Styles Clash using the ropes and sits on his chest, almost getting a pin. Sits on Styles' chest.
Sit. It sounds like you said shit.
Whatever. My mouth is needing a drink. And I don't have one. I don't remember how he did it, but Styles gets a pin on Joel. At this point, the match is feeling kind of rushed, but this brings money into the match. Oh, thank you, buddy. Money is having the best show so far. He hits the cha-ching, handing Styles his first loss. And right now, Money is in the best position to possibly be. No losses, with everyone else needing only one to be eliminated, as it generally is in this style, in this sort of match. The last entrant of the four has the advantage, really. Cash and Money now. Cash, I say Cash's top rope moves aren't landing right today. I guess it's because he looks very tired, so that might be the reason. But he is coming up short again and stuff like that. Or maybe that's just Cash. I don't know. I think I've said this before in other matches where Cash just looks like he keeps coming up short and not getting his moves in correctly.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Kid Rock lookalike.
Get used to him because he's the one that introduces, what's his name? Oh God, what was his guy's name? I always had said that this was supposed to be like Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash again. Eventually became Vance Archer. I don't remember what he went by at first. Lance Hoyt. He brings in Lance Hoyt. At some point, it looked like Money was trying to do a powerbomb off the top rope, but they changed direction mid-air, and Cash got in a Hurricanrana for a near fall. That was really cool. That particular moment was really cool in the match.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how you go down. Like I understand that you can get that momentum. It just seemed like they were mid-air and somehow figured out how to jump still. Like they had a double jump. It was really impressive.
It was.
Some people can do that shit, and it's really impressive. And these two did it. That also helps. They both know each other from ECW. So, Styles gets Cash eliminated from the match. I don't know if it was disqualification or not, but he goes after Money after that and hits a Styles Clash on him really quickly to get Money's first loss in. Now that it's Joel and Styles in the ring, Joel is trying to get some revenge. He's going after Styles hard now. The battle with Joel was very heated and actually taking some time. I guess the early part of the match was rushed so they could put time into the later, more storied part of the match. And this felt it. It really felt like Joel was fighting with like all he can to make sure Styles was going to be eliminated. Because, all Styles bullshit up to this point in this match.
Well, Red Dude and Spanish Announce Team are actually cousins.
Yes, they're cousins. There's that, but it's also like this guy has been pulling all this bullshit and getting undeserved shots, and I'm like, I have to imagine everyone else in the X Division is sick of it.
Probably.
So there is that. There's the attack on his cousin, and also the personal part where it was the attack on his cousin.
Sorry if no one knew that. I found that out this time, I think. I think they mentioned it like a handful of times.
I've known it for a while because they said it the first time they
Yeah.
all came out together.
Like I said, I think they said it at some point, and I just was not paying attention that time.
I was shocked by this too, because Styles is finally eliminated by Joel with a surprise roll-up, and Styles is very upset by this because all his underhand attack ended up not paying off in the end, and he refuses to. He's like refusing to leave ringside.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
I would. Yeah, it might have been a slip up on them kicking out too early, but it was what was planned for his elimination. In certain circumstances, maybe you just shouldn't pay too close of attention. You're not really supposed to be like there's a certain degree of how obvious it is. I don't think it was super obvious because I didn't notice. Maybe because I'm more used to how things function, it was not as obvious to me. Yeah, I can be really lenient with really stupid things, because there's been over the past 20 some odd weeks, there have been things where you've gone, this makes no sense to me, and I say it's just how it works. Okay, but at this point, Joel has, from what I can understand, I would say achieved his primary goal here, and making sure Styles did not make it to the final two and did not win this. Yeah. He's still fighting hard, but he is clearly spent at this point. Giving easy money, having easier time, but not getting the win easily. He even gets in a frog splash, doesn't get the victory. The finish of these two fighting comes when Styles just goes for a chair, and the ref is distracted with him trying to get the chair, which actually prevents Joel from getting a win, oddly enough. Styles leaves the chair with Plumtree, who still has the ref distracted, and he gets another chair and finally hits Joel with it, giving money the win. So Joel technically got screwed out of a match, or out of a title shot, and we'll see how this develops, because like at the moment it looks like it would just be Styles versus the SATs in red, and they have him outnumbered. It wasn't anything, well, I think you could argue that him and Red had a really close bout like a few weeks before, or I don't remember when they had it, and Styles may have been a little upset about that, or like a little upset about that. He doesn't feel like Red really deserves position, but at the same time, it also could have just been, this is my strategy for winning this. Take out one guy, even if they get a replacement, it's going to be someone tired. That just makes my chances that much better. What? Why?
Because I'm mute.
Oh, no. Well, you have some of it.
God. We have to re-record all this.
No.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for anything that you missed because my wife had muted herself.
It must have been one of the times that I was looking at the cats. I am so sorry, everybody. Is it showing now?
Oh, yeah.
I am so sorry. Luckily, I talk loud, so you may have heard it from his side.
Not too much.
I'm sorry.
We get Goldilocks with Sonny Siaki. He says he's basically confident he's taking the title off Lynn next week. Then we get TNA with Lynn on the stage. That was a backstage interview. Says he's injured, but it was something minor, just a minor pec tear. So he's taking a week off just to be safe. And then there's some commotion down by the ring, and we notice that the Harris twins have the NWA vice president at the ringside, and they're setting up a table and beating him up. So Lynn tries to rush to the ring to stop this while injured. He is not successful. They end up dropping Lynn. They end up putting the vice president on the table, and they end up slamming Lynn down on top of him through the table.
Poor oodles and noodles.
Then Killings comes out to go after the twins. Does okay for a bit, taking on two big guys alone, but the numbers do catch up to him. Eventually, it's just them destroying Killings, knocking him all around the arena. He gets a chair kicked into his face multiple times. Jarrett's not in sight whatsoever.
Okay, I don't blame Sunglasses for that.
Okay. He's your partner. You could have helped him.
Okay, first off, he may have been getting ready.
I suppose, but so many other... Okay.
Because I don't remember...
I don't know... Okay. There is some weird wrestling logic to it where, for whatever reason, most of the time most people in the back know what's happening out at the ring. Don't ask me why they know. Generally speaking, it's supposed to be kind of like the idea that there are a lot of monitors backstage where everyone can see what's going on.
Well, maybe he was in the bathroom taking a monster shit, okay?
Okay, but we don't get any explanation. He just doesn't show up.
Okay, would you want to explain that you were taking a monster
without
shit?
being shown another reason for it, the assumption is that he just chose not to come out. And that in wrestling, that's usually what you.
Okay, first off, would you want to be like, yeah, I was taking a monster shit, people? I'm so sorry. It stunk up the bathroom like no one wanted to go in there. Like, benefit of the doubt for poor Sunglasses.
Anyways, they end up taking Truth up to a balcony and throws him off of it and through some tables.
Kind of like what, Slasher did 5.
Ideally, he is now out of the match later.
Yeah.
Then we see Bob asking BG James to take over for Ron's spot. So he's, Bob asking his son, what the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
Is this one of those things where you could have waited?
No, I was flipping something.
Oh.
Grabbing it.
Anyways.
And that was so weird because I could have sworn that Bob said brother to you didn't know. I was like, wait, they're father and son. What do you call him brother?
It's just figure of speech.
It was weird, and it's weird.
Roll match. AMW versus James Mitchell.
Or is it?
James tries to weasel his way out of the match, saying his personal physician, Jack Kevorkian, wouldn't clear him and listed medical problems, sending Belladonna to replace him. I found that hilarious. I don't know if my wife knows who Jack Kevorkian is.
I don't.
Jack Kevorkian is known for being, I think, illegally doing assisted suicide.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, Harrison Storm are in the ring. They seem uninterested without Mitchell. They just basically shove aside Belladonna and go up the ramp to go after Mitchell, in which Lee and Slash cut them off and get into a brawl. I said at this point, I guess there's actually going to be no match, which it really wasn't a match when we get down to it.
And then,
Harrison Storm are beaten up by Lee and Slash so bad they're basically just down in the ring, unable to move.
I love my notes for this. What I put for this is, it's supposed to be James Mitchell. Oh, I guess not because he's in quotation sick. And I went. Then they started beating them up. I'm like, oh, never mind. Apparently he's not sick anymore. Apparently he can wrestle because they're passed out.
Said he was feeling a little better.
Whatever.
Harrison Storm were laid out in the ring. Mitchell finally gets in. Mitchell's able to just use the rope and the cowbell as a weapon. A&W are not able to retaliate against him. Eventually switches out with Belladonna again. I don't know why. Armstrong is just okay with this. The ref, Brad Armstrong, the referee. I know there's a loose adherence to I know rules in TNA are only very loosely adhered to. This is him. I can't believe he's just letting this happen.
I thought his name was Scott.
That was Brad.
I thought it was Scott.
It could be Scott. Actually, now that you say it, it might be Scott Armstrong. It doesn't matter. He's the head referee. So he should be the best at his job. He's not. AMW does finally revive to fight off Belladonna. I never thought I'd be saying that.
Fighting off Belladonna?
Yeah. At this point, for some reason, Slash and Lee are suddenly ineffective at being able to put them back down again. I guess thanks to the bull rope being used as a weapon by AMW. I don't know. Canatonic hit the death sentence on Belladonna. I said, the bull rope doesn't even matter at this point. No one has it on.
Nuh-uh. Kitty Cat did.
No, he didn't.
Didn't he?
Not when they did the death sentence.
Oh.
It was just like laying in a crumpled mess.
Oh, okay.
And then when Storm pins Belladonna, Harris just throws the rope over top of him like, oh shit, bell rope. There, it mattered.
He was on it.
They win. So, AMW, they got 3 wins tonight.
Yay.
I don't know. I would not sure if I'd be proud of that last one. Even after everything they've gone through, they still pinned a girl 2-on-1.
A girl who is obviously drugged.
She's supposed. Okay, the idea is they're supposed to be like almost hypnotically influenced by James Mitchell, I guess.
Oh, she just looks like she's, strung out,
No, it's supposed to be more like he's got power over them and over their minds, and their minds aren't like all there.
All right, yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I don't see that with her. She looks like...
That's what's supposed to be. I'm just telling you what it's supposed to be.
And I'm telling you what it looks like. She looks like she's a strung out... She needs a few days.
Okay.
To sober.
TNA has a sit-down interview with Kurt Hennig.
Yeah, I forgot about Chipmunk.
He says he doesn't hate Russo, just disagrees with some of his choices, and that basically he shouldn't be on screen, he should be in the back.
Yeah.
And then he says he's going to go against Jarrett next week and try to take the title.
Bum, bum, bum.
Basically it. And then match number 6, Harris Twins versus Jeff Jarrett and BG James. At first, I thought Jarrett wasn't coming out, but he did eventually. It just took him a few minutes. I don't know where... It wasn't really that. It just, extra long.
He was still in the bathroom taking that monster shit.
I guess. But I thought Jarrett was going to no-show, but did. And then James didn't. Then James no-showed. And then we cut to the back to see that he's laid out, and Bob's assuming it's the Harris Twins.
Do you think it's the Harris Twins?
I know it's not the Harris Twins.
Was it sunglasses?
I will explain this later.
I like that, quiet. You're like, I don't want.
I don't want to spoil the end of the match before we get to it. Jarrett is alone out there. The Twins going after him. We get a good 5 minutes of Jarrett being beaten up before he finally gets in some offense. Truth actually comes out with his ribs taped up for some payback. He's even carrying a chair with him. Truth does end up providing enough of a distraction for Jarrett to get a win. Also, a little bit of help from a chair. I say Jarrett kind of looks like a champion. Jarrett really looks like a champion here, fighting against the odds and overcoming them. I don't know. They just he knows how to present himself as a champion, and I think he's doing a really good job at it.
Are you saying Eddie Gordo did not?
Not as well.
Okay.
I think if he got another run, after another year or two of learning, because between the two of them, Truth is very, very green compared to Jarrett. Well, Jarrett's been in the business over 10 years at this point.
Well, Truth, actually, if you think about it, he's been over in it longer than that because his daddy was in it, so he probably went to his daddy's shows.
Maybe. I don't know.
I would. But I like my dad.
Truth gets the mic. He says he wants Russo out here, damn it now. Or right, damn it now.
Right, damn it now.
Yes. The Twins beat up Truth again. Then we get BG James coming out, chasing off the Twins. And then swerve! He nails Truth with a chair. James is with Russo and Sports Entertainment Xtreme. They even hug. And then Paul Bearer's on the stage.
I don't know who that is.
He was the fat guy.
Oh, that him. That dude.
Paul Bearer, he was Undertaker's manager / valet for a while.
Know who's valet?
He's the one that's most well known for it. He's the one that carried the urn and all that.
Know who I really miss?
Okay.
Rainbow Shorts' valet.
Joel Gertner?
Yeah, I miss him.
I would love to have him back, but I don't think we get him again until Hardcore Justice in 2010.
No! That's 10 years! 8 years! I can't...
A little less than 8.
No!
Alright. Now that we got to the whole swerve where BG James is actually with Russo,
okay,
I'm going to explain it to you. No one took him out. He faked it.
I'm stupid. I didn't think of that.
That's what it was.
Ah.
He was never taken out. He faked it. At least, that's what I'm assuming. It'd be weird otherwise. I don't know what Paul Bearer does in TNA, but he's there now too.
Someone else is there.
Okay, feast or fired, sweetheart. Unless there's something else you want to add.
Again, I apologize for the fact that I was muted through like 90% of this.
It wasn't 90. It was 10 minutes maybe.
Sorry. I don't know. I like the fact that Kitty and Country Singer won. I don't like the fact that
They won 3 times.
yeah. I don't like the fact that Oodles and Noodles got hurt again. Poor Oodles. I'm gonna give this a fired because like there was more bad that happened than good.
Between way too much talking, just my lack of enthusiasm, a really fake-looking match, a really bullshit match, and just this one's a fired for me.
Double fired. This has not happened in a while.
Last week, despite Russo being here, I was very high on the product, and this week just dragged my ass down. And I wish it hadn't.
We're sorry that it had.
Anyways, unless you got something to add, sweetheart, we're still discussing whether or not on the 2 weeks off if we're going to do anything special. I would like to actually show you the John Cena's debut episode of SmackDown. I'm gonna tell you, he's only he's not there for very long in the episode. Okay, so no.
No.
Okay,
Sorry, no.
maybe we'll figure out something else. Maybe I'll get you to watch.
Unless the comments.
Maybe I'll get you. Maybe I can get you to watch an episode of Lucha Underground or something. I don't know.
Maybe unless the comments really ask me to, and then I
What
will
comments?
do. Oh,
We don't have commentator. We don't have comments yet. What are you talking about? We're just 2 weirdos on YouTube that no one listens to.
Well, you know what? People listen to us and comment and say, "Hey, you should do it," and I'll do it.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to get it in before the 2 weeks off, which will be December 25th and January 1st weeks for 2022, which is the year we're in now. So, anyways, double fired this week, and we'll catch you all next time. Hope it's better.
Have a wonderful night.
Keep on wrestling.